All right. So welcome you all to 27 batch. Now you are just after your O levels and still freshers, right? Also done back, finished back in 26, right? 26th of March, is it? 26. Okay. So you are just freshers, came out to 27 A levels. So therefore, today I'll be structuring the class in this kind of a manner. First, I'll introduce myself, right? And then I'll talk about the structure of the class and how it's going on, what are the things we do and how it goes on. And I'll give you some brief idea about how A-level works and especially how your combinations, your physics and those things work. Right? Then we'll be moving on to subject today itself. We'll be starting unit 1 today itself after those briefings done. Right? So, any question or anything you have to raise before starting the class, especially online students? Any other thing regarding today's session? And you'll be getting the tute via Zoom and the community as well, right? So don't worry about the tute, you'll be getting it. The recording provided. Since first two sessions are two open or free sessions, you don't have access to the recording. That's the thing, because recording can be accessed via LMS, right? Once you are registered to LMS, only recording will be accessible. So therefore, for first two sessions, recording won't be inaccessible until you are registered to the class. But once you registered, you can go through all past recordings. You can request the past recording and get it through the LMS, right? All right. Now still students are joining, but I'll start because now it's 11:08. So we will wait for another 2 minutes before I start the discussion. I see still students are joining in. Okay, let's wait for another 2 minutes and then I'll start. LMS is, yeah, you're asking it, no? LMS is www.lms.matlab.lk, right? Now, once you are registered, registrations and online students, your classes, tutes will be provided as hard copies as well. But if you need the soft copies and recordings, especially, all of these things will be accessible using the LMS, right? And that's not only for online students. That's the platform we are using to register yourself into the class and for the managing purposes, right? And I'll explain about the LMS as well, because there are some things to be said about the LMS, because there are some plugins, add-ons that we have added to the LMS as well. Okay, now it's enough. We'll start. Okay. So again, welcome you all to 27 batch. So we are going to start the class now. Still students are joining, but anyway, I'll start because now it's 10 minutes past 11. So we plan to start the session by 11. We'll start now. Right. So first, as I told you, first I'll introduce myself. Now, sometimes you might know who I am, or sometimes you might not. Right. So first, I'm Pasindu Sandaruwan, and I'm a graduate of University of Moratuwa, Faculty of Engineering, Department of Transport, Logistics and Management Engineering, right? And I have been doing A-level physics classes since 2018, and this is my 7th year of doing classes, and 6 batches are already completed by far, right? And I came to this institute last year, and I'm doing classes here and Corona. For this institute, I came last year, and you have a senior batch in this institute as well. If you have friends or your colleagues in the senior batch, sometimes you might have heard, or you might have come across me, or sometimes you might have heard about the class as well, right? So simply that's it, and I faced A levels in 2016, and I entered the university in 2017 intake, University of Moratuwa, Faculty of Engineering, and I passed out in 2022, and we had the convocation in 2022, and after passing out, I continued doing my classes, and here we are now, right? Then about the class, first thing is this 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This time is until the schools are started, right? Then it will be shifted most probably to 5 days, right? 5 days will be some after school hour, right? And this is how the class is going. This will be a 3-hour class, and I'll be conducting the class fully in English. And if you have any questions, you can always raise questions by interrupting me at the same time while I'm doing the class. That doesn't matter. Even you are a physical student or an online student, that doesn't matter. You can always ask questions regarding anything that you need, right? And when it comes to our subject physics, basically, when it comes to our subject physics, basically this consists of theories. Theories means concepts and applications. Applications means sums, and experiments, or we call them practicals. Right? So basically this is how the subject is broken down. We have theories and concepts, and based on these theories and concepts, we'll be doing some applications and some questions, differences of questions, and then we have some experiments to do based on the same theories. And altogether in our syllabus, we have 42 experiments in total. 42 experiments in total, right? When it comes to our class, this is a theory class, you know. So we'll be starting all theories from scratch, from zero, from A to Z. We'll be starting from zero, right? And there are 11 units in physics. So today itself, we'll be starting with unit 1, right? So first, we'll discuss all theories from scratch, and from that discussed part, we'll be simultaneously discussing applications, questions, answers, and discussions in the class, right? And other than the questions I'm discussing in the class, we will be getting some other questions, additional questions in the tube as well, right? And past paper questions are also provided in the class with the tube, so you can go through past paper questions as well. And randomly, if there are new past paper questions to be discussed, I will be discussing them in the class as well. But the priority will be not the past papers here, that are new questions that I'll be discussing in the class. Those are not the questions which have been appeared in any other model papers or target papers or somewhere else. So those are new questions that was designed by me. So therefore, this is how it goes. When it comes to theories, for each and every part, we have a fundamental theory or concept or principle. So we'll be learning that, and based on that, we'll be moving on to applications. Now, as a ratio in physics throughout, the subject is like we are having around 10% of theories, 10% of facts, 10% of concepts. But when it comes to the applications, 90% of applications can be done using those 10% of theories. That is how the subject goes, right? So now the difference from today itself as well. This is not going to be a subject where you need to by heart everything and correct everything in the subject. That is not going to work, right? So from first day itself, you have to have an idea about this, right? Because physics is a mathematical based subject, right? Physics is a mathematical based subject. So therefore, knowing few theories, we'll be doing more questions, we'll be doing more applications, right? And the most important thing here is about the experiments. About the experiments. When it comes to experiments, altogether we have 42 experiments. That is throughout all 11 units, right? When it comes to experiments also, in the class itself, we will be discussing all experiments, right? In the class itself, we will be discussing all experiments with questions as well, right? In your first unit, you have 4 experiments to be done. So all 4 will be discussed in the class. And for the second unit, again we have 9 experiments. So likewise, unit wise, all 42 experiments are divided. So then simultaneously, with the unit, we will be completing the experiments as well, right? That is how the class goes basically, right? This is just a brief about the subject only because you are fresh here. And the other thing I wanted to brief about is about your streams and combinations, because I know most of you are still having doubt whether you are choosing math stream or bio stream. If there is math stream, with which combination you are going to take, because there are multiple combinations that you can take. And if that's a bio stream, still you have multiple combinations that you can go ahead with. And what are the opportunities that is open up if you go ahead with that particular combination? Those questions are in your head, no, those doubts are in your head. So therefore, I'll be explaining to some extent, as you can understand, about that as well. Okay. So mute yourselves. If you have questions, you can always put them onto the chat, right? All right. And about the streams, if you have any questions regarding anything that I have discussed up to here, you can always raise questions if you have anything, right? This is about combination. Now, since you are attending a physics class, which means now you are anyway choosing you have already chosen actually the science stream, no? Right? Now, in science stream, most students have the doubt of whether you are going ahead with bio stream or math stream, right? Now, personally, I know, and by experience, I know there are some students who are attending both bio and math classes for like first 2-3 weeks, and then they are going to decide which path they are going to take, right? So therefore, this is how this works. When it comes to science stream, this is actually called physical science stream. Physical science stream. Right? So let's say science stream. Now, basically, we have 2 streams that you can go ahead in science stream now, right? That is with combined maths or biology. So this is called, with combined maths is called maths, let's say combined maths, and here bio, right? And most general and the typical combination when it comes to combined maths is combined maths, physics and chemistry, right? That you, most of you already know, right? But there are other combinations as well that are introduced if you are going ahead with. Now, when it comes to maths, basically there are 2 combinations of subjects that you can go ahead with. the most general and the competitive general and the popular combination is combined maths, physics, and chemistry. Right? This is the most general and the popular combination. Combined maths, physics, and chemistry. Right? And the next combination we have is combined maths, physics plus ICT. Instead of chemistry, you can take ICT if needed. Right? Still, you are a math student, you are in the math stream, right? But the combination is different. Right? This combination is combined maths, physics, and chemistry. And this combination, chemistry will be replaced with ICT. Right? The basic difference is like this. The difference is with the opportunities. The point of taking A levels or facing A levels and achieving good results in A levels is to go to a good job with a good job market. Right? So basically, with these two streams, that changes because the degree you can choose change. It changes when it changes the job market, your focus area, your field changes. Right? So basically, when it comes to this stream, this combination, when it comes to this combination of combined maths, physics, and chemistry, this is the exact combination you need to have if you are wishing to go with engineering side. Right? If you wish to go ahead with engineering side, this is the only combination you have to go with. Right? So basically, now most the popular and the competitive fields which are open from science stream is engineering and medicine. No? Right? So if you are to go with engineering, this is where it is. Right? Now, when it comes to engineering, there can be multiple fields in engineering. Now, as an example, in our university, we have 13 different fields of engineering. Civil engineering, computer science engineering, electronics and telecommunication, transport management and logistics, mechanical engineering, textile and clothing engineering, earth resource engineering. So, likewise, there are 13 different fields. Right? All the things comes under this basket of engineering. If you are planning to go with any engineering subject, if you are planning to go ahead with any engineering subject, any engineering field, you have to go with this combination, combined maths, physics, and chemistry. Right? Other than engineering, the other degrees that you are open up to are physical science degrees. Right? Now, in engineering, we have a whole lot of degrees here, like with different universities, different fields, whole lot of degrees are here. And other than that, QS means quantity surveying and software engineering sites, CS, all these things are open up here. And other than that, the main other path that you can go is physical science. Physical science means this is more towards if you are continuing your career as a lecturer, senior lecturer, professor, or so on, right? That's the path you should take, right? The physical science stream. Questions? That's up to you, right? So basically, the most important opportunity here is engineering fields, and other than that, CS or some software engineering courses in Calania and University of Colombo are there, and mainly physical science. And as a number of degrees you are capable of applying if you go with this combination is around 80. 70 to 80 degrees are there that you are capable of applying. Capable of applying means you are now if your research course results are enough, you can apply for those degrees. Now there is something called research course that is coming along with your result, and that shows where you are based on the district and the island, right? So with that, you can apply for any degree that is open up here And altogether, if we consider all degrees that you will be opening up to with this combination is around 80. Right? There are around 70 to 80 degrees that you will be opening up from engineering to the very last, like I don't know, ICT, Rajarata, or Jaffna. Likewise, there are degrees up to there. You have altogether around 70 to 80 degrees, right? And if you go with this combination, I'll explain about the LMS later. So I'll erase this for a moment. And if you go with this combination, still you are a math student. Still you are a math student. You are a science student. You are a math student, but you will be choosing ICT instead of chemistry, right? Then what happens is you will be narrowed down to apply only for software related or IT related degrees, right? As examples, in University of Moradua we have UOM AI, artificial intelligence, and from both AI is reachable. From both AI is reachable, but if you are going with this stream, this is one of the very top degrees that you will have, UOM AI. And the second one is University of Moradua IT. Those two are the best two degrees we have in Sri Lankan context nowadays. If you are going with this combination, other than that, all other software engineering degrees, software engineering in the sense Colombo CS and MIT Calania, or software engineering Calania means UK. So likewise, there are few other software engineering degrees that you can apply. Software side, IT side, right? Not only software and the IT side, right? And as a number of degrees here is around 10 to 15, right? Number of degrees here is around 10 to 15. This is around 70 to 80 altogether, and this is around 10 to 15. Now, if you really wish to go ahead in IT stream, IT field, doing this is fine. But if you wish to go with engineering fields, you can't apply any engineering fields and engineering degrees with this combination. Then definitely you have to go with this stream. And the most popular degree program that we have in Sri Lanka nowadays is Computer Science Engineering, University of Moradua. That's the most popular in the sense in terms of the job market and the salary, right? The highest popularity is with University of Moradua Computer Science Engineering, right? Computer Science Engineering cannot be applied using this combination, right? Computer Science Engineering is something different from Colombo Computer Science, right? So don't mess up with these two. CS means Computer Science University of Colombo. That is not an engineering degree. That is not coming under engineering field. The most popular degree under engineering fields is Computer Science Engineering, University of Moradua. If you are wishing to go that path, definitely again you have to come here, and the engineering fields are divided within the university after first semester exam. That is within the university. Therefore, first thing is you have to come to University of Moradua, and then after the first semester exam, you will be divided into the fields. And the same scenario applies for University of Peradeniya, Ruhuna, Colombo, Japura, anything. Right? Fields will be divided after an exam. Right? That is not based on your A-level result. A-level result decides whether you are in that degree or not. If you are in the degree, then the fields are something inside the engineering fields. No? The fields will be divided with an exam, with an internal exam in the university, right? Based on the marks you are attaining. Therefore, explaining again, emphasizing on this again, if you wish to go ahead with any engineering field in your career, because this decision changes entire life. Because if you choose a different combination or different stream here, then the degree you are choosing will be different. Once the degree is different, the jobs you are open up to apply will be different. Then your career path changes, your entire life changes simply. So that is why A-level is this much critical and has become a milestone here, right? Therefore, this is a critical and a very significant, important decision that you have to make in your life. Whether you are going ahead with which stream or which combination, right? So that is why I am emphasizing on these things, because there are students who have no idea about these combinations yet, right? There are students who have like no idea about the combinations, about the streams yet, right? So emphasizing again, if you are planning to go ahead in any engineering fields, anything coming as engineering, any engineering field, this is the only combination you should take, right? And if your focus is to go ahead or go ahead in your career in IT side, IT field, IT and computer science, software engineering in IT field, this is a possible combination you can go ahead with. But all these degrees are also applicable with this as well. So therefore, this is always on top, not limited. Now, all these degrees are applicable with this combination, including all these. But if you are choosing IT, it will be narrowed down. Only this, you can't apply this. Right? So that's the beauty. That's the competition. Right? So that is there. Right? So I hope this is clear enough about math stream. Yeah, any questions? So without university, can we study for computer science engineering privately? You can study certificate level courses, or if you need, you can apply a private degree, private computer science engineering degree as well. But if you compare the job market, that is like 1/10 of what's here, like not even 1/10. Let's say now we have two students who are facing the same interview, and one is from University of Monaco CSC, someone is from some other private university. Definitely, the pick will be the UM1, right? That's undoubtedly that, right? So therefore, that's possible to do, right? There are private degrees available, but when it comes to job market, salaries, all that, all less the university, all university degrees, all degree programs which are provided by state universities are very much on top, very much on top. Can't even compare. Okay, so I hope you got the answer. Any other questions if you have about this two before moving on to the biological stream things? Anything about the math stream? Ask anything if you have anything, because now since this is the first day, I'm explaining all these things from scratch. You won't get any chance to hear these things from me again. I mean, in this much like from scratch and from a simple level. Now in the class also, I'll be like saying about like if a new degree comes, I will be just informing you about that in the class. Like this degree has come this year, and this is how it goes, and so likewise. But this general understanding won't be given again, because this is needed to pick your stream. Once you are chosen this stream, you don't need this again. Any other questions about math stream? All good? All good? Online students? So now this difference if you are planning to go with ICT, right? Perfect. Okay, thanks. Then about biostream. About biostream. So what's the popular combination you know? What's the popular combination you know? You are planning to do maths or bio? You are planning to bio. So what's the popular combination? Biochemistry and physics, no? Right? that is bio, chemistry plus physics. This is the popular combination. Now, that is also similar to this. Popular combination is biochemistry and physics. But there is another alternative combination if needed. That alternative combination is bio, chemistry, and agricultural science, agri. Instead of physics, you can take agri if needed. Instead of physics, you can take agri subjects if needed. Again, that is very comparative and very similar to this, because otherwise it will be biased, no, for math students and bio students. So therefore, it's very similar to this. Now, the main possibility that is opening up with bio stream is medical sciences or medicine, right? To become a doctor, here to become an engineer. See, the ultimate, the highest position that you can reach, right? So here, that ultimate position is being a doctor, which means you have to go with medicine, medical sciences, right? So medical faculty. So therefore, the first degree that you have here is that the very first and the prominent one. Prominent one is engineering here. Prominent one is medicine here. Prominent one is medicine here. Right? Medicine means you are becoming a doctor. Right? The prominent one is medicine. So other than that, there are more other degrees available as dental, vet, vet means veterinary science, vet, molecular science, molecular, there are so on and so forth. Right? And like this, now here we have physical science. No? Here you have physical science. If you are going ahead with in the academic career means lecturers, senior lecturers, professors, senior professors, and so on. Right? That's called an academic career. So if you are going ahead with academic career in math stream, you have physical science. If you are going ahead with academic career in a bio stream, you have biological sciences. That is called biological sciences. Right? Short form is bioscience. They call biological sciences. Right? Very comparative. And if you chose agri without physics, if you chose agri instead of physics, you will be narrowed down to agri degrees. Agri degrees means again around 10 to 15 agri degrees are there in our the curriculum, right? Like agricultural science in University of Lassa University or Wyoming, means Northwestern universities, Japura and Tera. So likewise, there are agricultural based, agri-based degree programs which are provided, which are offered. Those things will be applicable if you go with this stream. So here, all agri courses, right? Agri courses means you can't even touch these courses like molecular, bioscience, nothing. For bioscience also this is needed. For bioscience also that is needed. If you are going with agri, you will be limited to degrees. Right? Now as a number again, here if you do this combination, here the number of degrees will be around 60 to 70. Number of applicable degrees will be around 60 to 70. This is around 60 to 70. The applicable number of degrees. Here it's 10 to 12. It's around 10 to 12. Right? So that's there. So that is why, considering the number of opportunities we have, right? Considering the number of opportunities we have, that's why most of the students are going ahead with the popular combinations, combined math, physics, and chemistry. If you are going with maths, and biochemistry, physics, if you are going with bio, right? And if you do this, all these degrees are also open up. You are not limited. For any degree, you can apply. That's the idea. For any degree, you can apply. Right? So, since we have 4 combinations altogether, like 2 for each. So this is a critical decision that you have to make, whether you are going ahead with which combination. Now, you have already chosen science stream, I know, right? But still, since we have different combination, this is a critical decision that you have to make, right? If you are going ahead with this stream, physics will be neglected because you will be replacing physics with agri. For all other three combinations, physics is playing a major role, right? So that is how it goes. So I hope I explained everything that you need to know to choose this. Everything in the sense that the gist I explained, the cream here with the opportunities and the degrees, right? So if you have any questions regarding anything that I explained here, you can ask now. Can I become a genetic researcher under biochemistry physics subject? Yes, of course. If you are going to the research sites, listen, that's a good question. Listen. That's a good question. If you are planning to go ahead with research sites, right? Research sites, researchers can be done under any field or under any degree, right? So which means now, if I wanted to become a researcher now under my department or a different department in the same university or a different university, I can go ahead as a the first position that will be possible to apply is for research assistant. So first you will be a research assistant, and then you can go ahead. But still you have to have an academic career. Now, if you are starting from RA means research assistant, then you will be promoted to assistant lecturer or a lecturer. Then hereafter, your career is again academic, right? Now, if you are going ahead with genetic side, the stream is this, right? Now, in general, if your plan is to go ahead with researchers, that is called RA and so on, researchers, research sites are possible with any degree program, and usually how it happens is there will be some number of students, maybe best students, who are picking those opportunities from the department itself. Department in sense, now let's say, now take my example, now I'm a student of Department of TMLE, Department of Transport Management and Logistics Engineering, University of Moradua. Right? Now, if I'm planning to go ahead with researchers, now in final year also we have an undergraduate field. Hereafter, if my career is towards researcher, then I have to apply for RA positions within the department or within the university. I can apply. I'm open to apply. And based on my results, and there is something called GPA in university. So based on my GPA values, results, then I'll be offered the opportunity of being a research assistant. Then hereafter, we can start our career on RA path. Now, if you are in that career, which means you can go up to the professor level. That's the ultimate target in the academic career. Professor level. Professor means hereafter professors, senior professors are also there. Thereafter, VCs. VC means vice chancellor, chancellor. All those things are open up, right? Okay, I hope you got the answer. Any other questions? All good? Sorry? I didn't get your question. Not the percent. This is the number. This is not a percentage. Right? I mentioned the number of applicable degrees. Number of applicable degrees with each stream, with each combination. Sorry, with each combination. This is not a percentage. Right? This is not a percentage. Right? Number of applicable degrees. These are the number of applicable degrees. Right? If we consider the holistic view of all state university degrees. These are the number of applicable degrees. Right? There are 13, 14 state universities now. These are the number of degrees uh, you are open to apply if you go with each stream. And all these degrees are applicable under mainstream. Mainstream means main combination. Under main combination. Right? So which means inside this 70, 80, this 10 to 15 is also there. Right? That's the main combination. Any other questions? Okay, online students, are you all good? Are you all good? You decide whether you are going ahead with this combination, no, this, or if there is bio, this or this. You decide it because your entire life path changes. I'm highlighting this again and again because your entire life changes with this combination. Right? Entire life changes. This is a turning point. This is one of the turning points in your life. Main turning points because you haven't had actually such turning points yet in your life because when it comes to O level or the other exams before O level, they are not the milestones such as A levels, and they are not that critical decisions as A levels. Right? Now, if you have passed grade 9, it means definitely you are in grade 10. If you have passed grade 10, definitely you are in grade 11. But this is not something like that. Right? Now, if you plan to go ahead with math stream with this combination, then there's no comeback. There's no comeback to here or here. Right? If you have planned it, you have to go ahead with it. Right? So therefore, this is a critical decision. This is one of the main turning points, milestones in your life. Right? Selecting the stream. And the next milestone will be getting a good result from that selected stream. That's the next coming up milestone. Then again, choosing the required degree is also a milestone. That's a decision that you have to make. Still clear. Thanks. Right. So that's why I'm explaining these things because now at least within first 2-3 weeks of your A-level journey, you have to decide this first. Right. No, otherwise you can't attend all these classes for like 2-3 months, and it's not possible to do. Not possible. You have to choose your stream at least within first 2 to 3 weeks of your A-level journey. Right. This is the first day of my class. That's why I'm explaining these things here today itself. And in the second day, I won't be explaining these things again. So you have to make your decision. You can discuss with your seniors, friends, colleagues, if you have brothers, sisters, or if you have any other teachers that you can get some info on these things. You can talk to them as well. And if you need anything, you can talk to me as well. That's all fine. Anytime. You can talk to me as well if needed. Anything regarding these things other than the subject, because this is a critical decision you need to make. Right? So I hope it's clear enough. Right? I hope it's clear enough. And if your combination is this one, or this, then you are in the correct class because main role subjects of all these 3 combinations will be physics. Main role subject in the sense the subject which is having the highest impact on Z score, right? And if you decided to go ahead with this combination with that grade, then physics won't be a subject within this combination, right? And as a percentage, around 90% of students are taking this combination, and around 10% of students are taking this combination, right? Because the combination is with this number of opportunities you open up, right? That's a competition. Main competition is between maths and bio. right? Main math stream, main maths combination, and main bio stream combination, right? Those combinations are not man-made, not artificial. Naturally, it comes with the number of students who are taking that particular combination. Right? Then, let's say, now as an example, when it comes to physics, around 80,000 students are facing physics per year, right? Per year, around 80,000 students are facing, around 80,000, right? I mean, all three combinations, all together, 80,000 students are facing physics, right? So that's the competition. And another highlighting fact is that the least percentage of A grades are also for physics, right? From 80,000, around 4,000 students will get A grades. That's the least out of all A-level subjects, right? That doesn't mean physics is that difficult, right? That's how the subject works. Now, initially also I explained here, this is not a subject that cannot be parallel. This is something mathematical based with concepts, right? Therefore, that's how those figures are. That's how the competition is made. That's how the competition is made, right? Even if your mark is different from, let's say, a single 0.5 or 1 mark, or if your mark is 76 and you have another, let's say, friend who has got 77 marks for physics, still the impact is high when it comes to the set score because of that strength of the subject, right? I'll explain what set score is later in the class, not today, because you don't need to know about set scores yet, right? I'll be explaining those things when we are moving down the line, right? This is what you need for the first day because you need to make this decision first, right? So I hope it's enough. Is it another question? If not, must student otherwise national is it okay to choose science? Good question. Listen. Yeah. So some students are thinking that if your O-level results is not good enough, or if your O-level maths knowledge is not good enough, or your O-level science is not good enough, you have a doubt whether you can go ahead in science stream here in A-levels, right? My answer is yes. The reason is this, right? I'm saying again, the answer is yes. Of course, you can go ahead in science stream, right? The reason is all the things we are learning here in science stream will be coming from scratch, right? Coming from scratch, right? Even though there are like fundamentals in O levels, now here also those things will be covered. So therefore, if you are starting your A-level career freshly, if you are kickstarting your A-level career freshly at this point with your fullest effort, that is totally up to you. That is totally doable, right? There are side down O-level and A-level results in the history. There are more such results, right? Sometimes there are students who has like C passes for O-level science maths, but they have scored A passes in A-level. The reason is this: O-level result is not a dependent. O-level result is not a dependent for choosing A-levels, but the focus is when it comes to A-levels. A-levels is something that you need to put your fullest effort, right? This is unlike A-levels. Throughout our 2.5 years of journey, consistently you have to make hard. You have to work hard. You have to make your fullest effort. You have to put your fullest effort. If you continue to do so, this is not going to be a hassle. Definitely you will go through A-levels without any hassle, right? Therefore, O-level result is not the deciding factor when you are going for A-levels. That is always with your potential. That's with your potential. That is something with your potential, right? If you can put your fullest effort from the first day itself throughout this journey of 2.5 years, definitely you would go through. Definitely. All science and natural resources which are from which other physics are like related to O-level physics, so totally different. Not totally different. In O-levels also you have physics, but just a touch of it, right? They are actually the fundamentals, like 1%, 2% of this we are learning here, and here you have the advanced applications of all these things. The advanced, the real applications, right? Now, as an example, you know Newton's laws from O levels, right? You have just come across Newton's laws. Here also we have Newton's laws, but we'll be go to a very high depth in Newton's laws. That is how it works, right? Not totally different, but in O levels you have done just like 1%, 2% thing. 98% is here, right? That's it. Otherwise, I'm not saying it's different. It's not. Uh, if we don't get the minimum result needed to do medicine in A levels, then will we be forced to continue with dental? Don't we have? No, no, no. You forced selection is something we have to choose, which means we have something called a preference list when we are applying to a university. Now, if dental law, whatever it is, if there is not in your preference list, it won't be offered to you. But if you have, let's say, as a second preference, you have put dental, then you will be offering it because you have asked to offer it as a second preference, right? So this is how it goes, right? Now about the university applications and all those things, also I'll be explaining once it's needed. I mean, at the very latter part of the class, I'll be explaining in the class means in this class before you are sitting for A-level exam, I'll be explaining on those things as well. Now, for now, since you asked that question, just know that that is based on a preference list where you can rate and prefer your degrees in that order that you wish to go. Now, if you have applied it in that list, definitely you have to take it. If not, you don't need to. Now, let's say you don't like dental, you don't need to do something with dental, then skip dental and let's say you have go with veterinary sciences as your second choice, then you'll be getting vet, something like that. If you don't get okay. If the set score is less than the minimum result needed to continue with medicine. I didn't get that question. So today we will easy. Yeah, we are going to start the first unit itself. Right. So I explained at the beginning of the class that I'll be structuring the class today as introducing myself and introducing about the streams, and then again I'll come to subject and our LMS, and then I'll be starting the lesson today itself. Right. Now, this is important. That's why I had to explain. See, now most of you are having doubts, no? Right? That's the importance of knowing this. Right? Now I got more questions in the chat box about doubts. Right? So about books for A levels. I'll explain later on. Right? Okay. So no any questions from this thing, no? So I'll be moving on. Right. Okay, next. Next thing is how our class is going to be continued. Books, video physical class. Yes. Biodex Institute, Deliver. Right? So this class is actually a hybrid class where you can attend it physically or as online, virtually. How to join? Didn't you join the community? How to join the physical class? All updates will be given to you via the community until you are registered, right? Because now for first 2 weeks are free now, so therefore you don't need to register during first 2 weeks, right? And we have the community. If you have seen the flyer I shared, from that also you can access the community, or else I'll put that link into Zoom chat box as well. Give me some time, right? And if you haven't joined that community and the WhatsApp group, you can join it. All the updates will be provided via that until you are registered to LMS, right? Okay. So about the subject, about the procedure of the class is like this, right? We have 11 units in physics, right? We have 11 units in physics. Small ones, large ones, all together 11 units, right? 11 units. And in each unit, as I explained before, we have theory parts, applications parts, and experiments, right? In the class, we'll be covering all these things like theories from scratch and practicals from scratch as well. So this is the main thing. In this theory class, we will be covering all theories about all 11 units and all practicals in those 11 units, right? And you will be given a tube provided by me for each lesson, not the unit, for each lesson. Now, as an example, for second unit, that's mechanics, we'll be having around 11 tubes for 11 different lessons. Likewise, lesson wise, you will be getting the required tube for that ongoing lesson, right? Now, if you are a physical student, you will be getting the hard copy of the tube. If you are an online student, still you will be getting the hard copy of the tube via post, right? Still you will be getting the hard copy of the tube via post. Especially online students, when you are registering to the class, as the address that you are putting in LMS, make sure that you are putting the correct address you are actually living nowadays. Because otherwise, some students are saying that you have put a different address. Now, what we are doing is we are taking the addresses from the LMS database and posting all things. So therefore, that's a point that came to mind with this. Now, when you are registering, because now starting today itself, you can register if needed, right? Even though the second session is also a free session, if you are interested, starting from today itself, you can register yourself. So make sure, especially online students, make sure you are putting the correct address when you are registering, because all the tubes will be delivered to that address, right? All the tubes will be delivered to you in that address, right? And here, that is about the main tube set. Tubes will be provided for both physical and online students. This will be delivered, and physical students will be getting it at the class, right? And since first two sessions are two free sessions where you don't need to register, for online students you will only get the soft copy of the tube, because I think it's understandable, because for online students I need to have addresses to be posted, right? Now, since first two sessions are two free sessions, right? You can't post it, therefore I'll be providing you the soft copies of the tube, right? And but still, for physical students, you will be getting the hard copy of the tube today itself, right? Okay, this is how it goes. Physical students will get the tube at the door. Right. And next thing is I have something called spot exams. I have something called spot exams. Spot exams. So about these plans, you can check with the senior batch as well if needed. If you have any colleagues, I told you before as well. Or if you have any uh, doubts about these plans, because this is the plan I'll be following for your immediate senior batch as well in the same institute in Bridex and under MATLAB online batch, right? So therefore, this is how it continues. And about spot exams, you will be having something called spot exam. Spot means it will be an impromptu one, right? Spot means it won't be informed to you that you are going to have an exam today, right? It will be an impromptu one, a spot, right? If I feel like I'm giving a spot exam today, I'll be giving it today, something like that. Spot exams means the purpose of spot exams is to recall what we have covered in previous lessons, right? Now, as an example, our first unit is, under first unit we have the first part. First part is units and dimensions. Now, once units and dimensions are done, I'll be giving you a spot exam on units and dimensions. The purpose is, so idea is to recall everything that we have covered under units and dimensions, right? And this is not going to be a big exam. This is 30 minutes or 45 minutes maximum exam. 30 minutes or 45 minutes. The purpose is to recall what we have covered in past weeks, right? So likewise, lesson by lesson, you will be writing spot exams parallelly as well, lesson by lesson, right? Spot exams, and then focusing practicals, I'll be conducting special seminars for practicals as well. Now, as an example, the first practical seminar will be after the second unit, after mechanics. So, I'll be conducting the practical seminar to cover all practicals again on mechanics, something like that. That's called a practical seminar, and that will be like around 5 hours, 6 hours seminar, not a 3-hour one, right? Basically, this is how it goes. And for your questions and answers, listen. For your questions and answers, first thing is, now while I'm explaining everything in the class, even you can always interrupt me and ask questions if you have anything, right? Always you can talk to me, you can put questions in the chat box, and if you are a physical student, you can always raise your hand and talk to me, and somehow you can interact with me, interrupt me, and ask questions in the class, in the ongoing class. That's all fine. But additionally, I'll be allocating time for Q&As. Q&As means questions and answers. I'll be allocating a time for Q&As before the class, which means now we are starting the class at 11 to 2. I'll be here at the institute by 10:30, right? And the time from 10:30 to 11, whether you are an online student or a physical student, that doesn't matter. I'll be starting the class. Starting means I'll be starting the Zoom meeting at 10:30. Then from 10:30 to 11, from 10:30 to 11, I'll be allocating 30 minutes additionally for your questions and answers. Now, as an example, let's say now after today, when you are going through the things that we discussed today, you got some doubts, right? When you are going through at home, and what you can do is, you can, when you are coming to the next class, you can come during 10 to 11, and like as a one-to-one discussion, you can ask anything from me in person, one-to-one, right? That will be just a one-to-one discussion, right? And amongst online students, you can log on to the meeting by 10:30, and you can send the question, and you can clarify it from my side as well, right? So this is some additional 30 minutes time I'm offering, because now in your senior batch also I have been. Now once I allocated this kind of a time, now students are used to clarify their doubts if needed during this time. Before the class, they can come to the class and I'll be here in the institute. You can just talk to me, you feel free to talk to me about any subject matters, and you can clarify them. Right? And we'll be starting the class at 11. Right? This is something, some additional time that I have allocated for questions and answers. Right? Other than the questions and answers that you can ask in the class, always you can ask in the class. That's the first option. Right? This is an already option. If you need a one-to-one doubt clarification or something like that. Right? So this is an advantage and a 30 minutes time that you can utilize to clarify your things and fine-tune your knowledge. Right? Okay, I see some questions in chat box. Let's see. How to join? Okay, I'll share the link of the community in the chat box. Fill the recording of the first class. No. Now, when it comes to a recording, this is a 3-hour recording, no? Right? So to be like something, a big file, 4 GB, 5 GB, 6 GB, a bigger file, and it cannot be uploaded to WhatsApp. Now, what happens is it will be uploaded to LMS. Right? Now, in LMS, we have a database. It will be uploaded to the LMS. So, therefore, I'm sorry, I can't provide the recordings for first 2 sessions. And here onwards, all the recordings will be provided. And even for first 2 sessions, listen, even for first 2 sessions, this is being recorded. This will be uploaded to LMS. But the point is, you can't access that until you are registered to LMS. That's the thing. Right? That's the thing. Now, let's say by the 3rd week of the class, you are registering to the class. Before the 3rd week, now first 2 weeks are, now before the 3rd week, you are registering to the class. Now, when you are registering to the class, you will be registered on LMS, and then you will get a student ID and few things, student ID, passwords, and all those things. Then you can log into your account. Once you log into your account, then you can see how class weeks are going. I'll show you some example. How the class weeks are going. Then if you need the first week recording, you can request the first week recording. Once it is requested, you will get the recording for a week. It will be expired after 7 days, something like that. Right? Then you can go through it during 7 days of time and recall what's needed. Right? So that is how it works. Since you can't access LMS in first 2 weeks, if you haven't registered, you can't access the recording. That's what I meant. Otherwise, it doesn't mean these 2 recordings are going to be unavailable. No, these 2 are also there. You can access them once you are registered to the class. Sir, can I get the group? Yeah, sure, I'll put it. When will the physical class start? Now, today itself, I have started the physical class. Today itself, I have started the physical class, because this is actually a hybrid class goes on. Here there are physical students in this classroom, and there are online students in the class as well. Right? So I'm conducting this as a hybrid class. Right? So if you wish to join the physical class, right, I encourage you to join the physical class. That is in Ridex Institute, Dehiwala. I'll explain those things with the LMS. Same time in the physical class, same. Okay. Quickly ask if you have any questions about this. Is it all good? All good? Right. It's same. This is a hybrid means, this is a hybrid class. Hybrid means the same class is conducted as a physical class as an virtual, as an online class as well. Same class, right? Same day, same time slot, same me, same syllabus, same word, same thing. Right? Hybrid. So it will be done simultaneously, right? Okay. Every day same or same. This 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. will be until schools are started, right? Once the schools are started, I'll be shifting this to an evening hour after 1:30, right? You have schools after 1:30. I mean, before 1:30. Doing private, is it? Private. Now, if you are a private student, that doesn't matter. But most of the majority of students will be attending to school. So therefore, I'll be shifting the class to around 2:33, usually around 3. Yeah. My senior batch is also from 3:30 to 6:30 today itself after this class. So you will also get an evening slot like that, right? Because the majority of the students are attending the schools when they are coming to the class, right? Okay, this clear now? Okay, look at here. Then about the class, and the delivery, this is like this. This is like this. Right here. 2027 A-level physics your class. 2027 A-level physics. Right. This will be a hybrid class. This will be a hybrid class. Hybrid in the sense, either you can join this physically or as an online student, right? Now, if you are in and around Colombo, I highly encourage you to come to physical class, right? But if you are outside Colombo, then it's not possible to come to physical class now. Then you can continue online. Because now in my senior batch also, there are students from like very far, like Kandy, Navalapitiya, Mathale, those areas are also there, right? Now for them, you can't come physically, it's impossible to come physically. But for the students who are live in and around Colombo, our institute is in Dehivalan, so you can come to Dehivalan and join my physical class. And I encourage to join the physical class if you are around Colombo. If Dehivalan is within your reach, right? Otherwise, any student island-wide can join the online class, right? So that's the purpose of delivering it online now, right? To give the accessibility to all students who are inside the island. So what about? It's same. All the things are same because this is a hybrid class. No? Okay, I'll explain again. Hybrid class as physical and online. Physical class is here at this institute. This is Bridex. Bridex Institute. Dehival. Right? This is at Bridex Institute, Dehival. And online class is accessible via the LMS. LMS is www.lms.matlab.lk. Since first 2 weeks of this class is entirely free, you don't need to apply, you don't need to access the online class via LMS because you will be getting the meeting link open in the community. Right? It will be shared as an open link in the community. But for future classes, after 3rd week onwards, for online students, you have to go to the LMS and go to the class and join the class. Right? So this is how it goes. And everything about the physical class and online class is exactly same. Exactly same because this is a hybrid class. This is a hybrid class. Everything is same. right? Now you ask many questions about the physical and online differences. No? That's same because this is a hybrid class. I'm doing the same class, same delivery at the same time, right? So therefore, time is same, place is different, fee is also same. You will be getting the same tunes. You will be writing the same exams. All sport exams will be same. All the thing, everything will be same. The only difference is physical students will see me in person physically, and online students will see me through a screen. That's it. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. Right? What are the other questions? What about the fee? It's same. Same. Everything is same. So that's why I told you, if you are living in and around Parambu, if Dehivala is reachable within your radius, I highly encourage you to come to physical class. Right? But for any student who are not reachable or not near Colombo, anyone, if you are within the island, though, it doesn't matter whether you are out of the island even, you can join the online class. Right? All right. Then about the LMS, some will like this. So before going to LMS, I'm going to explain about the LMS next. Before going to LMS, any question about this class? I mean, these things I explained here. This is a hybrid class, online and physical. Any questions? Quickly. You all good? Online students? Online students? I'll put the meeting link, sorry, group link to the chat as well. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay, any other questions? About the community, yeah, I'll be now putting it to the Zoom chat box. And if you haven't joined the community yet, please do join. Be given to you by that community, WhatsApp community. And don't worry about sharing your number because WhatsApp community is something your number is invisible for others now. If you have such doubts, I mean, if you have such doubts in the community, your number is invisible to others, right? Only admins can see your number, but the participants couldn't. The members couldn't, right? Give me 2 minutes. I am going to put the links in the chat box. If you haven't joined the community yet, I saw there were like most students who are joining, who has joined the community already. But if you haven't joined yet, please join today itself, because the updates will be given via that. And once the class is registered, I'll be taking all registered students to a different group from the community, right? Still, you are in a single community where there are like registered, unregistered, and all students are there, right? So that's for any student. The community is. Recording? Sorry? You also can get it if needed. Now, let's say you were absent today. You can get it. Yeah. Listen, that's another good question. One student asked whether the recording is gettable for physical students as well. Of course, yes, because all of you will be registered to the same LMS. It's exactly same. For physical students, the recording will be provided in a case like, let's say you were absent to a particular class and you requested the recording, right? Then you will get that recording. Then before the next class, you can go through the recording and be on the track and come to the next class, right? So that opportunity is there. That opportunity is there. So whether you are online or physical, that doesn't matter. You can get the recording. You can get the recording. Both of you will be having same privileges. Huh? It's a hybrid class. Both of you having same privileges. That's why I told you. Only difference is online students will see me through the screen, and physical students can see me in person. That's the only difference in these two classes. Any other questions? Okay. Yeah, you'll be seeing the link for the community in a short while, right? And in the flyer also, a QR code is put. So by scanning the QR also, you can directly join the community, right? So if you have seen my flyer that I shared, through that also you can join it. Okay, I put the link to the chat box. I put the link to the chat box. So you can join if you haven't joined yet to the community, because I'll be giving all updates via that community, especially for first 2 weeks until you are registered to the class. Right? Until you are registered to the class. I put this flyer as well. If needed, you can scan that QR in the flyer and join the community. Right? Keep that saved with you. All other details are there as well. All other details are there as well. Now, if needed, without clicking on the link, you can scan the QR and join it as well. I have put it in the chat. Hope it's visible. Yeah. And about other details, any more questions? And yeah, I'll be putting my contact details as well now if needed for anyone. Okay. So those are the things, right? So you can see the chat box now. All right. So everything is there, right? Still, if you have a question. Question. Yeah, I wanted to know about the books. Yeah, I'll be explaining. I'll come to it later. Please be patient. Right? And someone asked about the fee. It's also same. It's 3,600. Right? Fee is also same whether you are joining online or physical. Right? So that's what I meant by only difference is whether you see me physically or not. That's it. Fee is 3,600 per month. Per month. No, not per day. Per month. Fee is 3,600 per month. Right? For both it's same. For both it's same. For both, any other questions? Quickly. All good? All good? Okay. How many classes per month? I would say one class per week. Or if the month is having 5 weeks, then it will be 5 classes. Right? Now, as an example, I guess in coming May, coming May there are 5 weeks. Then it will be 5 classes there. This is a weekly class. Weekly basis. Before 12 months, will you? Before 12 months? No way. This is not an art syllabus, huh? Right? So that I'll explain. Right? I didn't come to those points yet. I'm still explaining about this now. Right? So I'll explain how many months before we are going to finish the exam. It is not before 12 months. Right? No way. I mean, in the theory class, that is not possible. That's a revision. There are other techniques that we can do it in the revision. Now in theory classes, a 2.5 year syllabus cannot be done during 1.5, right? That is impossible. Now I don't need to touch and go. I mean, from the scratch we will be discussing all the things from zero to from starting from zero A to Z. So then it won't be before 12 months. I'll explain it. How many questions from this now? Okay. And about the LMS, it's something like this. I just show you until you are registered. I just show you until you are registered to the class, right? So I can't share the screen. I'll show it by my laptop, right? And after that, after this LMS thing, I'll move on to the lesson, and I'll answer your questions as well. Yeah. See, something like this. Now, I hope this is visible. Something like this. Now, once you are logged onto the LMS, you will see, now this is my backend, this is the lecturer's end, and for students end also you will see the months like this, right? So you will be starting from April, right? You will see the month of April here, and once you go into that month, let's say now you are going into this month. Once you go into the month, you will see the weeks, right? It's like week 1, week 2. So likewise, weeks are there. And if you go into the week, if you are joining as an online student, the link is visible here, right? Now this is expired because this is a past class, no, right? For the coming up class, link will be visible, and all other details such as the soft copy of the due if needed, that will be uploaded to here. So during the week you can see it, right? Within the week you can see it. Your interface will be somewhat different from mine. This is the lecturer's thing, right? And the recording, see, recording is available in the LMS like this, see, recording. And for your end, you won't see the recording. It won't be visible to you unless the permission is given by my side or the admin. You have a request button. Then once you requested it, I'll get the request. Then I'll accept it. Once I accept it, you can see the recording. Right? Now, it will be something like this. So you will see the recording here, and once you click on this play button, recording is played. Cannot be downloaded. Cannot be downloaded. You can see this. You can access the recording on the LMS itself. Right? So that's how it works basically. And this LMS is common for both physical and online students, right? And in the LMS, when it comes to spot exams and our exams, listen, when it comes to exams, exam marks, exam evaluation marks are also uploaded to LMS. And with the exam marks, you can see all your pass marks as a graph, as values, as a scores, as a graph, and all that in the LMS as well. Now, let's say now you have written 4 spot exams, something like this. You will be seeing some time variation with spot exams. Say spot exam marks, then something like 1, 2, 3, 4. And likewise, your marks will be plotted. You can see whether you are in which kind of a trend, whether it's increasing or decreasing. Right? So those facilities are also there in the LMS. You can monitor yourself. Starting from the spot exams. Right? Okay. So I think that's enough about LMS. So this is the link to LMS. You can visit this and register yourself today onwards if needed. And since first 2 weeks of this month is free, only a half month fee will be charged for month of April, and next month onwards the class will be going as usual, right? For this month, let me explain here. 1,800 for April. 1,800 for April because first 2 weeks are free. 1,800 for April. Right? So 1,800 for April. Since first 2 sessions are free. Right? That will be a half fee. First 2 sessions are free. Right? And what are the other questions? Should we? No, nothing. Nothing extra. Okay, since you got the doubt, listen all. Once one is asking whether I'm charging additionally, if there are 5 weeks for a particular month, nothing. It will be same. So in a month, if they are same, okay, it's same. Now, coming month May will be an example because in May you will have 5 days. I'll check with the institute. The May 1st is available. I mean, with the institute, if you will be having 5 classes and nothing additional will be charged. Just this only, nothing additional. Even if I put extra classes, let's say I had to put an extra class and I conducted 6 classes per month, still that's same, right? Nothing extra, no any add-ons, no any hidden fees here, right? No any hidden fees here. This is the only thing. And for online students, the delivery charges are also included here. So nothing is going to be additional than this, right? Because some students are asking whether the delivery fee is charged to deliver the tutor via post. No, nothing. All are inclusive here. By 2, because we started at 11, right? How do you conduct the sport exams for online students? Good question. Listen. We have an option in LMS to schedule exams. Listen, for online students, listen. We have an option to schedule exams in LMS. So you will see some tab as exams. Under exam tab, the exam will be scheduled. Right? So let's say I have scheduled the exam for 30 minutes, then you can download the paper from LMS just before the exam. Just before means I'll be making it visible 5 minutes before the exam, usually. And during that 5 minutes, you can download the paper and you can write it. And then after the time is done, I'll be giving you another 10 minutes or 15 minutes time to submit your answers. You have to scan your answers and submit to the LMS. Right? Submit your answers. Once the submission is done, we will discuss the questions in the class as well, and then I'll download all the answers by my end, and I'll be evaluating those. And I'll be giving you the final marks, and marks will be updated or uploaded to the LMS after 2-3 days. Right? And for both online and physical students, if you are writing a sport exam, answer should be submitted to the LMS. Right? Is it clear? Who asked that? Daham, is it clear? The exam is also based on the LMS. Now everything here is connected with LMS. That's the learning management system here. LMS means learning management system. So therefore, exams, classes, recordings, what else? Everything is inside this LMS. Is it clear? The one who asked the question. Right? So that is how online students will be sitting to the exam, right? Clear enough, right? Okay, clear enough. Next. Okay, now we are going to go to the subject. Since one student asked about books, Since one student asked about books, as reference books, you don't need to purchase any book as reference books, right? I'm answering this because one or two I can't remember. I saw that in the chat box. You are asking about reference books. No reference books are needed. If you are attending the class consistently, nothing is needed. The only two books needed here are you need a past paper book, right? You need a past paper book for A-level physics. Purchased by either a master guide or Sadipa one. Those two are the good books nowadays for past papers. Huh? For past papers, Sadipa or master guide. I'm not promoting any brand. This is just because the content, format, and the answer scripts, those things are very clear and good here in these two applications. Sadipa, master guide, past papers. Now you can get it up to 24, up to 2024, right? Then you can get the latest edition. There it will be up to 2024, right? No short notebooks are needed, and the other book that we need is there is something called, this is also about past papers. There is something called classified past papers. Classified past papers. Classified means this is classified into lessons. Classified past papers. Here there are three versions, three books of this. This is called Pasindu. This is popularly called Pasindu. This is popular as Pasindu. Classified past papers, that is popular as Pasindu. And here we have three sets of books for MCQs, structured essays, and essays. Right? There are three sets of books as MCQs, structured essays, and essays. Three sets. Right? First, what you need is the MCQ one only. Right? If you are buying at once, that doesn't matter. But if you are buying one by one, first you need the MCQ one. Right? First you need the MCQ one. And after like 4 or 5 months, we will need the essay one. I'll inform that once it's needed. And after like 6 or 7 months of time, we need the structured essay one. So that is how it goes. Right? Not in a hurry. Right? Not in a hurry because the past paper questions will be provided by me as well now in my first tutor also. In this first tutor also, past paper questions are there. Right? Or even if you get the Pasindu MCQs, you will see the same past paper questions there. Here, past paper questions are also there. Right? So therefore, it's not mandatory. Right? So since you are, if needed, these are the books you can get it, but not mandatory because in my tutor also, past papers are there. Right? All right. In any bookshop, like Sarasavi or any bookshop, Sarasavi bookshop or any other bookshop, in any other bookshop that's available. Any bookshop. Huh? No need of any other books. No need. Nothing is needed because in terms of the subject, everything will be delivered to you by my side, and everything will be provided to you by my side for subject matters. Right? Now, these are about past papers. Surely that is enough. That is more than enough. If you are attending the class regularly and if you are doing these things in a weekly basis, that's more than enough. That's surely more than enough. Right? Now, about how you should work in A levels, I'll explain the next day. Now, today I explained about the briefings that you need to make the decisions. Now in the next session, I'll be explaining especially on how you should work in A-levels in this A-level journey of 2.5 years, right? That also I'll explain in the next class. Okay, any more questions? Now we are going to move on to the unit. All good? Any more questions? Quickly. No questions? Okay. Right. So then let's start. Let's start then. Unit 1, write down. Unit 1, write down the unit as measurements. Measurements. Unit 1, measurements. Unit 1, measurements. Unit 1, measurements. Give me a second. I hope you all have joined the community now through the link that I put. Joined, right? Okay. So we are in unit 1. Measurements. Measurements. Right. So under measurements, we'll be covering two parts basically. First subheading or sub part under measurements is units and dimensions. And secondly, we have something called measuring instruments. Right? So we'll be covering both. First question is this. Now listen. Now we are starting the unit. So listen. If you have any questions about anything that I explained before, you can ask me meanwhile. That doesn't matter. I'll look into the chat box and I'll answer in free time. And even if you are a physical student, you can ask any question. Right? So about before coming to measurements, now you are starting to learn physics as a subject today. Right? Listen, you are starting to learn physics as a subject today. Right? And I know from O levels also you have some touch on physics in science, some touch on physics, and you have a slight idea about what physics is. Right? I don't think it's zero because you have a slight idea what physics is from O levels. Now, since we are going to learn about physics, first tell me what physics is. Just your idea. What's the idea you are having, or what's the thought that's coming to your head when I say physics? What's the idea? What is physics? Simply my question is, what is physics? Before learning physics, you have to know what physics is, no? What is physics? A force. Which applications? Linear. You mean linear? Daily life. That's a good point. Yes, valid. Daily life applications. Yeah. Others? So do you conduct chemistry classes? No. I conduct only physics classes. Now, in the institute, we have chemistry that is done by a different lecturer. I'm conducting only physics. In the institute, all the subjects are there: combined maths, physics, chemistry, biology, ICT. All things are there. Right? I'm the physics lecturer of the institute. Online students, do engage. Put them into the chat. So what do you mean? What's the thought you have about what physics is? What's the thought you have about what physics is? One physical student said it's about daily life applications. That is acceptable. That's a valid answer. Logic behind things. Logic behind things. Okay, good answer. What else? Logic behind things. Good. What else? No, any idea? Other students? Calculations. Obviously, yes. Obviously, calculations because this is a mathematical based subject. I'm not asking about calculation. I'm asking about what physics is. Okay, let me explain. I got different answers. Let me explain. Listen, listen. Now, even though you have learned physics in O levels, sometimes you might not know that what physics is, right? But that should be the zeroth point, the zeroth or the starting point where I should start learning a subject. That subject means, right? If you are learning chemistry, what chemistry is, right? Because there are different chemistries, right? If you are learning another subject like, I don't know, let's say computer applications, then you have to know what the subject is and what the purpose of learning that subject is, right? Okay, when it comes to physics, physics is all about physical things and physical phenomena. Physical things and physical phenomena, right? I hope you have heard about the word phenomena. Phenomena we call as plural. Physical things, physical phenomena, right? Physics is all about physical things and their behavior and phenomena. Phenomena, right? Physics is all about physical things. So that's about our daily applications. That's correct. That's about logic behind things. That's correct. Physical things means now what we see daily, what we see practically in this world are physical things, and behaviors are the behaviors what we see. Now, as an example, let's say I can see a vehicle is moving on the road. Right? Vehicle is moving on the road. That's a physical movement. Vehicle is a physical object. What's a physical object, by the way? What's a physical object? Physical object is anything that is spacious. Spacious means if it takes a space in the space, is called a physical object. This pen is a physical object. This pen is a physical object. Myself is a physical object. Anything here that is taking a space is a physical object. Is that clear? Now, basically, we have two things in this world called physical things and non-physical things. Non-physical things are, any examples for non-physical things? Now, I explained, physical means if it takes a space, that's a physical thing. Then, what are non-physical things? Yeah, air also takes space. Air saying volume. Software. It will be stored even in a hard disk or a cloud somewhere. Right? Non-physical things are, this is not related to physics because physics is about physical things. You know, non-physical things means thoughts, feelings. Those are non-physical things, right? They are intangible. Non-physical things, intangible things, right? Thoughts, feelings, those kind of things. You can't see my thoughts. You can't see my feelings. What you just hear is my words, but you don't know what I'm thinking. Sorry. They are non-physical things, right? Now, in physics, we are into physical things, right? Physical things are anything which takes space in this environment, in this space, right? So, this pen is a physical object. Look at here. Now, we are in the first lesson. This pen is a physical object, right? Now, if I need to study about this pen, if I need to study about this pen, I'll be thinking about length of this pen, mass of this pen, color of this pen, or if this pen is moving, motion of this pen, something like this, right? So those are called physical things, physical behaviors, and phenomena. The study on these things, listen, study on physical things, behaviors, phenomena are called physics, right? Therefore, in physics, what we will be learning is about the real world applications, right? So let's say the vehicle is moving on the road. That's all about physics, right? And in physics, the beauty is that By observing physical behaviors, we are conceptualizing it. We are going to make concepts. We are going to build up concepts. We are going to build up principles, identifying the behaviors. Right? Now, as an example, another example, let's say you can see a wooden block is floating on water. A wooden block is floating on water. Right? Then what we see physically is that floats. But the concept behind that is Archimedes principle. Right? That is what is meant by physics. Right? We will observe physical things, and we are going to conceptualize the physical things, how that behavior occurs. So that's why I said when one student says logic behind things, exactly that is correct. That's the logic behind things. Right? What you see is floating a wooden plank or wooden drop on water. But the logic or the concept behind that is trust and Archimedes principle. Right? That is how physics is. That is how physics is. Right? So first thing that you have to know about physics is, right? We are not going to write what physics is. Just hear this out. We are not going to write what physics is. Physics is about making concepts from physical things, physical behavior of physical things, and phenomena due to physical things. That is called physics. Right? So therefore, all applications here that we'll be discussing in all level units are practical, day-to-day, real-world applications. Right? Even this now this bulb is lit on. Right? The current comes to the bulb. Right? Flowing of current is something from physics. Right? So likewise, all these day-to-day applications are about physics. I'm standing here because of the gravitational field. That is about physics. Right? These desks and chairs are here with equilibrium. That is from physics. Vehicles are moving here on the road because of physics. So likewise, everything here in this world are physics applications. Right? So therefore, we will be discussing about real world applications of these real world applications and the concepts behind it using physics. Right? If I throw this up, this is from physics. This is a motion under gravity. Entirely physics. Right? So likewise, simply all the things here, all phenomena, all physical things, and the behaviors of all physical things can be explained by physics. Right? This is about the physical things. This is about the physical things. What are the questions? The link in the board doesn't work. No, it cannot be. Check your spelling. I check now again and check for my end because now I showed you the LMS. It works. Okay. Okay. Now, since you said the LMS doesn't work, let me check. Is it same for all, or is it only for that student? I hope you have got the correct link, lms.matlab.lk. So do you do chemistry class? No. It works. Make sure you are entering the correct link, lms.matlab.lk. Right? You can access it via your desktop or mobile phone or anything. See? This is what you will see from your end. Now, if you need to see, I think this is kind of visible. See? This is what you will see from your end. Once you log into matlab.lk, see, subjects are there. This is GC A level. Home, I'm here. Combined maths, chemistry, biology, physics, maths. These 4 levels. A level subjects and all the subjects are there. Now you are registering for physics, you can go to physics and get registered yourself, right? Now, if you have any mismatches with misspellings, I'll mention it here again, right? Make sure you are entering the correct spelling. Then you should navigate to this www.lms.matlab, MATHLAB, This is the LMS, right? Okay. Now you know what physics is. Look at here. Back to the topic. Back to the topic. Now you know what physics is, right? That's all about physical things, physical phenomena, right? Even if a wind blows, that's from physics. That's a physical phenomenon. The wind blows, right? So we can feel the wind. Wind blows. The physical phenomenon, right? And we can heat. We can feel the heat. Now, if you expose to sunlight, we can feel heat. Right? That is from physics. So likewise, all the phenomena are also due to physics, right? Motion, phenomena about things, all of them are due to physics. Okay, now we are in our first topic, that is measurements, right? In our first unit, that is measurements. Measurements means, now again, before I explain, any idea about what a measurement is? Or what the measurements are used for? Any idea? Measurements. Now, what is coming to your mind when I say measurement? Measurements. What is coming to your mind when I say a measurement? Sorry? Liquid, to measure liquids. Measurements. Measurements means anything measurable is a measurement. Now, as an example, now if I take this pen, weight, let's say mass of this pen is measurable. So that's a measurement. Length of this pen is measurable. That's a measurement, right? Radius of this pen is measurable. That's a measurement, right? So likewise, measurements are anything can be measured, are measurements, right? Now, when it comes to measurements, first we have something called, listen, now this is the very first part you are going to learn here in physics. We have something called physical quantities. This is the keyword. See, measurements and subheading is units and dimensions. Under that, first thing is physical quantities. Look at the board. Physical quantities. Physical quantities. A physical quantity means, now listen, this is the very first thing you are going to learn about this lesson today, right? A physical quantity means, now we have physical objects. Now in physics we talk about physical objects, right? Physical quantities means quantities or variables that we used to describe about this physical quantity, describe about this physical thing, right? Now, as an example, now if I am describing about this, right, I can describe about color, but color cannot be measured. Therefore, color is not a measurement. Now, since this is red, even though this is red, I can't say whether it's 10 red, 20 red. We can't say it, no. So, that is not having a numerical value. All measurements, they are having a numerical value. They should be able to present as a number. Right? Colors are not numerical. Therefore, let's go with the other points that we are using to describe this. What about the mass? Is it numerical? Is it numerical? Yes. 100 grams, 200 grams, 1 kilogram, 2 kilograms, 5 kilograms, numerical. It makes sense. Right? So, mass is a physical quantity that we can use to describe this. And length. Length is another physical quantity that I can use to describe this. I can say this pen is 10 centimeters long. The numerical value 10 centimeters long, 20 centimeters long, 1 meter long, 2 meters long, right? Numerical, right? So likewise, the parameters, or they are called quantities. Quantities we are we are using to explain or describe about the physical thing is called physical quantities, right? Now, if you are using any measurements to describe about myself, let's say height, weight, mass, width, they are physical quantities, right? So that is what is meant by physical quantities in physics. Right? Physical quantities are the measurements used to describe about a physical thing. Is that clear enough? This is the first idea, very first idea you have to have. Right? Okay. So under measurements, as a subheading, write down units and dimensions. As a subheading, write down units and dimensions. As a subheading, write down units and dimensions. Units and dimensions. Online students, don't worry, you will get the soft copy of the tude chat box. Right? I'll be putting it. Right. And under that, the next heading is physical quantities. Physical quantities. When I register the batch selection, that's not support. Yeah. After today's class, you can register. After today's class, you can register. Right? Because the link for 27 batch is not yet open because first two sessions are anyway two free sessions, no? Right? But after today, I'll open the link. Right? Then once you are logged into the LMS, you will see something as 2027 A-level physics registrations. Then you can click on that and register yourself. Right? So that's why you don't see the batch. Sometimes you might see 26 batch. Right? So don't register for 26 batch. Right? So after today's class, I'll be opening it. Don't worry. Okay, physical quantities. Now under physical quantities, write down first as an introduction. Quantities used to quantities used to quantities used to describe about quantities used to describe about quantities used to describe about physical objects. Quantities used to describe about physical objects are called physical quantities. Are called physical quantities. Are called physical quantities. Okay. Now look at the board again and listen to me. When it comes to physical quantities, there are 7 fundamental physical quantities in physics. 7 fundamental physical quantities, right? Which means based on 7 physical quantities only, all other physical quantities are derived, right? So therefore, mainly we have 7 fundamental physical quantities. Look at the board. Look at the board. Look at the board. When it comes to physical quantities, we have fundamental physical quantities. Fundamental And we have something called derived physical quantities. Fundamental physical quantities are the physical quantities which cannot be derived using someone else. They are fundamental. Fundamentally, they cannot be derived using someone else. Such physical quantities are called fundamental physical quantities. And fundamental physical quantities cannot be explained by using anyone else because they are fundamental. Right? So let's see one by one as examples, then you will understand this better. Here. Right? There are 7 fundamental physical quantities. Let's go one by one. First one, mass is a fundamental physical quantity. Mass is a fundamental physical quantity. Now, if I need to explain what mass is, we can't explain. That's the point of being fundamental. Now, if I need to explain about the mass of this pen, now mass of this pen is the mass again. So again, I found the mass. So I don't have any other alternative options to explain about mass. That is what is meant by fundamental physical quantity. Right? Mass. And second one, length. Length is also a fundamental physical quantity. Length is also a fundamental physical quantity. I can't explain what length is. That is from here to here. Then it should be length from here to here. Without using another word other than length, you can explain about that again. So length is also fundamental physical quantity. Right? And time. Time. Time is also fundamental physical quantity. Time. Right? And amount of substance. Amount of substance. In your words, amount of substance means what is measured in moles, number of moles, right? That is called amount of substance, right? Number of moles. Other than that, electric current. Electric current. Electric current. So we know the current is flowing, current passes, but I can't explain what current is. Right? We can feel the current as well, but we can't explain what current is. So that's because that's a fundamental physical quantity. Electric current. What is measured in amperes? Electric current, 2 amperes, 3 amperes, 4 amperes, electric current. Right? And then thermodynamic temperature. Thermodynamic temperature means temperature, same. Thermodynamic means that is the temperature measured in kelvins, not Celsius degrees. Right? So we call it thermodynamic temperature. Thermodynamic temperature. And finally, luminous intensity. Luminous intensity. Thermodynamic temperature is to measure temperatures, and luminous intensity means intensity, the brightness of light and other things. That is called intensity. Right? That's something measurable. This light intensity can be measured. UV index, luminous intensity. Right? So those are the 7 fundamental physical quantities in physics. Wherever you learn about physics, these are the all seven fundamental quantities in physics. Right? So in A levels, the beauty is that everything will be there. Even if you are learning higher physics or something in higher studies, still you will be having the same thing with deep applications, in-depth applications. Right? So there won't be anything other than what we are discussing here in A levels, because in A levels, entire physics is covered. Right? It doesn't mean you are covering to all in-depth questions. In-depth questions are also there, but they will be based on the same 11 units we will be covering. They will be the extra mile forward of the same lessons we are covering. Right? So again, fundamental physical quantities cannot be derived by someone else. Right? They are fundamental. Based on fundamental physical quantities, derived physical quantities can be derived. Right? Fundamental physical quantities are mass, length, time, amount of substance, electric current, thermodynamic temperature, and luminous intensity. Now, derived quantities from them are, see, look at here, I will mention few examples because we will be discussing about derived physical quantities throughout this lesson. So therefore, I will be mentioning some examples here. Now, using mass, we can derive weight. Using mass, we can derive weight. So weight is a derived physical quantity. Using length, we can derive area, or we can derive volume. Right? Because area is length into width. Width is also length. Length into width. So area is a derived physical quantity. Volume is length into width into height. Height is also length. Right? So therefore, by length, areas and volumes are derived. Got it? Now, area can be explained. Area is the product of length and width. But length cannot be explained. That's the difference. They are called derived physical quantities. Right? So I'm not going to mention more examples. Let's say velocity. Velocity. There are so on. Right? I'm not going to mention more because we are going to discuss about derived physical quantities within the lesson, throughout the lesson. Right? Okay. First idea you have to have is this. In physics, we have 7 fundamental physical quantities. Altogether, that's 7. Those 7 fundamental physical quantities cannot be derived using someone else. They are fundamentally there. Right? And derived physical quantities are the derived physical quantities using these 7 physical quantities. Is that clear enough? Is that clear enough? Online students? Online students? Online students? So I want to write this. Now, I'll ask you to write when needed. Online students? Any questions on this? We'll be writing this, don't worry. We'll be writing this. Right? So I'm not going to erase this before you take it down. Right? Any questions before writing down? Because writing down is not the thing. Understanding is the key here. Right? Now, if you take this down, it will be in your book, not in your head. Right? Understanding is the key here. Right? That is there with physics. That's always there with physics. Yeah, tell me. Online students? Online students? Yes. Oh, give me a minute. I'll be putting the tube to the chat box as well. Don't worry, we will write all definitions. Don't worry, we'll be writing all definitions. You can check the group chat for the tube. You can get it from the group chat. Okay, so meanwhile, I'll put it to the group. So before that, you are clear, right? Yeah, you said it's clear. Right, good. Now write down fundamental physical quantities. The topic is fundamental physical quantities. Did you write it down already? No? Next topic is fundamental physical quantities. Fundamental physical quantities. Fundamental physical quantities. Fundamental physical quantities. Okay. Under that, write down physical quantities which cannot be derived. 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 Slash cannot be explained. Cannot be derived slash cannot be. So I have a problem. You said that physics consists of things that take space, but energy do not take space. So is energy relevant to physics? Good question. Energy is stored in objects. Now, as an example, consider gravitational potential energy. Gravitational potential energy of this pen is mgh. That is stored in the object. That's a physical object, right? Now, when this is moving, it has a kinetic energy. Kinetic energy is stored in the object. That's about the object, right? So, if this is heated, heat is absorbed to the object. That's a physical object. That is heat energy, right? So, always energies are stored in objects, in physical objects, right? So, that is about objects, physical objects. What about light energy? Light is not an energy. Light is not an energy. Heat comes along with light is the energy. Light is not an energy. There is nothing called light energy. Forms of energy are gravitational potential energies, kinetic energies, heat energy, sound energy, strain energy, elastic potential energy. Light is not an energy. Energy is with the heat which is coming along with light, not with the light. Energy is with the heat that is coming along with the light, right? So that is why sunlight is uh, kind of mild in temperature. Now, we can feel that heat when we are exposed to the sunlight. The reason is heat is coming along sunlight, right? And even if heat is absorbed to air, air particles, those are objects. Gases are spaces, right? So therefore, all are physical things. Gases are also physical things. Okay, you got it right. Okay, good. What did you write? Physical quantities which cannot be derived, cannot be explained, are called fundamental physical quantities. Are called fundamental physical quantities. Are called fundamental physical quantities. Okay, now mention all 7 fundamental physical quantities. Mention all 7 fundamental physical quantities. Mention all 7 fundamental physical quantities. Mention all 7. Mass, length, time, amount of substance, electric current, thermodynamic temperature, luminous intensity. Okay, I put today's tube, soft copy of today's tube to the chat box. Online students, you can download it from the chat box. You didn't get the tube, right? Right? Online students, you can download the tube from the chat box. Right? So I have put it to the chat box now. Right? Okay, it will be needed just after this. Okay, now come to the lesson. Come to the lesson. Okay, finished, right? Then write down derived physical quantities. 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 Below that, or under that topic, write down physical quantities which are derived using 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 two or more fundamental physical quantities. Using two or more two or more using two or more fundamental physical quantities are called derived physical quantities. Are derived using two or more fundamental physical quantities. And another small thing, for physics, I prefer if you can use a CR book. The reason is now in the coming parts we will have to deal with more diagrams, more calculations, right? Not only for physics, in other A-level subjects also, using a CR book would be easy. For maths, physics, chemistry especially, I don't know much about bio subjects because I did maths. For bio also, I have seen students are using CR books, and now my subject is physics. For physics, I prefer if you are using a CR book because then you can draw the diagrams and calculations easily. You can do them all, managing space easily, right? Keep that in mind when you are taking a book for physics, right? And now mention these examples. Weight within brackets derived using math. here within brackets mentioned derived using mass. Derived using mass. Wait. Area and volume within bracket derived using lengths. Derived using lengths. Area and volume derived using lengths. Derived using lengths. Right? And velocity now I'm audible, right? Audible, right? Is it okay now? Listen, students. Now, listen. If when you are trying to log into LMS, if this didn't work, right? If this didn't work out for some, this will work out. If this didn't work out, without entering www, enter the rest. Then try with it popping up. Right? It can be different. Right? Now, for me, I think now I have already logged anyway. Right? So that's another thing confirmed by one of our admins. If 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 www dot this thing doesn't work, just enter lms dot navigate. Right? Then you will be navigated. If both doesn't work, let me know. It cannot be. Just let me know if both doesn't work. So especially for online students, if you try to log in and if you have something like that, erase www dot and then see where it's coming. Right? Okay, and for velocity, what I was telling is derived using length. Right. Okay. Now the next thing is for these 7 fundamental physical quantities, there are 7 fundamental units as well. Right? Respective 7 units are also there. Right? As the next heading write down, units of fundamental physical quantities. Units of next heading, units of fundamental physical quantities. Units of fundamental physical quantities. Units of fundamental physical quantities. Okay. Look at the board. Units of fundamental physical quantities. Look at here. Look at here. Right. Now, if we are to measure something from a physical quantity, we have to have a unit. Right? Otherwise, it is not meaningful. Now, as an example, now mass is a physical quantity. Mass is a fundamental physical quantity. Now, Physical quantities are something measurable as number, numerically. Can we go? Yeah, numerical values. Now, for that numerical value, in order to have a meaning, there should be a unit. Now, as an example, now without saying this as 10 centimeters, if I say 10, meaningless. If I say 10, meaningless. If I say 200, meaningless. We don't know what that is. That is what that means. Therefore, for all physical quantities, we have to have a unit to make it meaningful. To make it meaningful. Otherwise, number doesn't have value. Number is a number. It's a numerical value. But if I don't say whether it's the length or in centimeters or kilograms or seconds or whatever it is, that is not having a meaning. Right? Let's say length of this pen is 10 centimeters. Without saying 10 centimeters, I will get 10. This pen is 10. Meaningless. Right? So therefore, to measure a physical quantity, we have to have a unit. In order to measure a physical quantity, we have to have a unit. So therefore, for all 7 physical quantities, there are 7 fundamental units as well. Right? Idea is clear, right? For mass, fundamental unit is kilograms. Mass is measured in kilograms. Length in meters. Don't write anything, just look at the board. Time in seconds. Amount of substance in moles. Electric current in amperes. Thermodynamic temperature in kelvins. Luminous intensity in candelas. CD, candela. Right? So likewise, they should have a unit in order to measure the physical quantity to make it more meaningful. Right? Now, when I say this pen is 1 kilogram, it makes sense. When I say this is 10 centimeters, it makes sense. When I say the flying time of this pen is 5 seconds, it's meaningful. Right? That's the whole idea. Fair enough, right? Okay. We took the topic. Then under topic, again, mention these physical quantities along with their units. Mention these physical quantities along with the units. If anyone needs, you can mention them in words as well if needed. Kilograms, meters, seconds, number of moles, amperes, kelvins, candelas. And ask any questions if you have. And ask any questions if you have, both online and physical students. And about the opening of the registration, now from MATLAB admin also a message is put. You can see it. It will be open today. I told you. Right? So I hope everybody can see that message. Will be active for 2021 batch from Friday night. Sorry, not today. It's Friday night, right? The reason is first 2 weeks are anyway free, so you can register yourself leisurely after Friday night, right? Now, if you try to register, you will. You will not get consent button select. Okay, after Friday, you will get it, right? So that's the reason. So don't worry, just leisurely register yourself because it's not going to be limited. The number of students can register. Right? It's not limited. the link means the selection ribbon will be open by tomorrow. Then leisurely, you can register yourself. Even though you registered or not, first 2 sessions will be free anyway. But it's a must to register yourself before the third lesson, third day. Right? I hope it's clear. Okay, finish. Okay. Now we are going to derive some physical quantities using these fundamental physical quantities. Right? We are going to derive some physical quantities using these fundamental physical quantities. Okay, before that, ask if you have any questions up to here, or if it's clear up to here, say it's clear enough. Say it's clear. What about you? Candela. Luminous intensity. Intensity of light basically. Now it means about brightness. Now this brightness and the brightness somewhere here is different. The brightness outside is different. That is called intensity. That is measured by candela. Quickly, online students. If it is clear up to here, say it's clear. Just drop me a drop in the chat box saying it's clear, or even a thumbs up is enough. Right? What about you? All good? Up to this point? Okay. We are moving on. As the next heading, write down units of derived physical quantities. 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 Okay. Now look at the board. Now we are going to do something. Small task. Look at the board. Look at the board. Now we are going to do some small task. Deriving physical quantities means that's a task. We are going to do some simplification to derive a physical quantity. Right? So let's start with the simple one, something like velocity. Right? Look at the board. Don't write anything. Don't look at the tubes. Just look at the board. Right? Let's say velocity. Right? First you have to know the equation of velocity. Velocity. What's the equation of velocity? Change of displacement over time. Right? That is, don't say displacement over time, because sometimes in O levels you might have said it as displacement over time, but that is not actually the displacement, that is change of displacement. Now in A levels we will be practicing to the exact format of all equations. Right? In O levels sometimes you don't be given it as the change, because for O levels that is not that mandatory, but here that is mandatory. Velocity is change of displacement. Look at here. Change of displacement over time. Look at the board. Don't do anything. Change of displacement over time. Right? If I convert this into labels, velocity is labeled as v. Velocity is labeled as v. Displacement is labeled as s. S. Change is called. For change, we are using a symbol called delta in maths and physics. So therefore, change of displacement is called delta s. Time is t. V equals delta s over t. Right? Delta means change. If you don't know about this symbol, this is a symbol. This is a Greek symbol. Delta is a Greek symbol. This is used to say change or difference. This is used to say change or difference. This is not visible. Delta means delta, change or difference. Change or difference. That is called delta. Right? Now, this is how the unit is derived. So that here, we are going to derive units of V now. Right? We are going to derive units of V. When we are deriving units, we use parentheses to say that we are deriving units. Now, idea is if I put this here, this means considering units of V equals units of delta S over units of T. Parentheses means units of. That is symbol we have in physics. Right? Now, units of V is units of change of displacement. Displacement is a what is displacement out of this fundamental physical quantity? What is displacement? Is it a mass? Is it a length? Yes, that's a length. Displacement is a length. Right? Displacement is a length. So therefore, displacement is a length from fundamental physical quantities. Then change of displacement is also length. Change means difference. Difference of two displacements are displacement. Displacement is a length. So therefore, that is measured in meters. That is measured in meters. Simple. And here we have time. Time is a fundamental physical quantity. Time is measured in seconds. Time is measured in seconds. Seconds. Therefore, time is measured in seconds. Therefore, this unit comes as ms minus 1. That's a derived unit of a derived physical quantity. So we started from a known one. A very popular known one. No? So this is how it works. When it comes to derived physical quantities, using fundamentals, they will be derived. Right? Hope it's clear. Right? Copy it down. Copy down the first one. Copy down the first one. Copy down the first one. Online students, if you have any questions, always feel free to talk to me. Don't hesitate to ask any questions if you have anything in mind. Because I don't mind, I don't judge you. You ask. You are asking questions means it's highly encouraged because you are asking questions means you are interacting in the class. You are engaging with the things. You are interacting. So that's very much needed. So therefore, don't feel, don't hesitate to ask any question. Always feel free to come up with the question, raise a question anytime. From me, I'll help you out with that anytime. Right? So therefore, this is not like a regular class where you can't ask questions. You can always raise questions at any point of time if needed. And I highly encourage you to ask questions. Then I also have the understanding whether you have understood that particular part or not. Once I have that understanding, I can explain it in another way or a better way that you can understand if needed. Right? So therefore, always feel free to ask questions. Don't keep any doubts in mind. That's a point. Okay, done. Okay, let's try another one. Let's try another one. Second one, acceleration. We will be doing one by one. Number 2, acceleration. Number 2, acceleration. Number 2, acceleration. Parenthesis brackets. Parenthesis means simple brackets. Simple brackets. The meaning is we are considering units. Now, the meaning of this is units of V is ms minus 1. Right? So don't get confused with parentheses. So simple brackets. Simple brackets is something, a symbol we have in physics to say we are considering units. No need to write it in words that we are considering units. Just put brackets, which means we are considering units. And second one, acceleration. Okay, what's the basic equation of acceleration? Very similar. Change of acceleration is change of velocity. Change of velocity over time. This is called acceleration. Change of velocity over time. Symbols of acceleration is A. Change of velocity is delta V over T. Okay. Now you can apply units and come up with the derived unit. Quickly. You can try it out. Apply and come up with the derived unit. So this is the very first application or very first task you are doing in today's class. Very first task you are doing today's class. Right? Finished. Okay. Units of acceleration will be units of delta V over units of time. Units of acceleration will be units of delta V. Delta V means change of velocity. Now we know velocity, units of velocity is ms minus 1. The change of velocity is also be ms minus 1. Change is the difference. Right? So this is ms minus 1. Time is seconds. Then we will get ms minus 2. So derived unit of acceleration is ms minus 2. Derived unit of acceleration is ms minus 2. Right? Okay, next. Third one, force. 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 What's the equation of force? F equals ma. Right? So force equals mass into acceleration. Right? Force is mass into acceleration. Right? Force is mass into acceleration. Then F equals m into a. F equals ma. F equals ma. Okay, derive units. Derive unit quickly. I hope all online students are with me. If you have any questions, please do ask. Please do ask. Okay. Units of force will be units of mass into units of acceleration. Then units of force, units of mass, kilograms. Units of acceleration, ms minus 2. So units of force is kg, ms minus 2. kg, ms minus 2. kg, ms minus 2. Right? Got it, right? Online students? You all are with me, right? But about force, there are something special. There are such units in our syllabus. There are such derived units in our syllabus. Now, derived unit of force is kg minus 2. But there are some units which are named as the founder's name, as an honor to the founder. This is one of the units. This is labeled as newtons later on. So, therefore, that is the SI unit. The SI means standard international unit of force is Newton, and this is the derived unit. Right? So therefore, first write it down. Use a red pen, and put an asterisk mark and write down below. Use a red pen and put an asterisk mark and write down below. What standard unit of force is? What standard unit of force is? What standard unit of force is? What standard unit? We call it standard unit as the SI unit. Right? Standard international SI. Right? But standard unit of Force is newtons. Write in words. Newtons. Newtons. Write it in words first. Newtons. Newtons. Within brackets, capital N. Within brackets, capital N. Right? Okay, so therefore, now this is the relationship between Newtons and H minus 2 now. That here. Therefore, Newtons exactly equal to kg ms minus 2. Newtons exactly equal to kg ms minus 2. Type this in red. Use red. And Newtons is the SI unit. And kg ms minus 2 is the derived unit. SI unit and derived unit. There are such physical quantities as well. So you will get to know about more in coming parts. There are more physical quantities such like that. Right? Write this down and highlight or strike. This red pen, it's better. Newtons equals kgm is minus 2 and label Newtons as the SI unit, kgm is minus 2 as the derived unit. Derived unit. Clear? Okay, online students, any questions up to here? Any questions up to here? Or is it clear enough? No questions? All good? I need responses. At least a thumbs up. If you can't type, just react with the thumbs up or send a thumbs up. All clear? Clear. Good, good. Good. Okay. So now there are more things coming up. We have just started the unit 1 in physics, and next day we will do it entirely with derived units, and we will be moving on to dimensions. Right? Next day we will be spending only with other derived units. Right? Listen. Now we have just started the concepts of fundamental physical quantities and physical units, fundamental units, physical quantities, and we have just started the derivation of derived units. Right? There are more things coming up, more derivations are coming up. So next day plan is this: we'll be spending the entire day with derived units, and then the latter part of the class, the latter part, the second half and the latter part of the class will be dimensions. We are moving towards dimensions. That is most critical part in unit 1 under measurements, dimensions. And in dimensions, there are more things to be done. So therefore, now if you understood all the things today, don't miss next class, because next class I will be continuing from where I left off today. Right? So don't miss the next class. Please join the next class on time. Right? And next class will also be T class, as is the second session. And about the registrations, I'm reminding again because there are a few questions from the students. Right? For registrations, this is the link you should go. Doesn't matter whether you are doing www or not. If it doesn't work, just enter from lms.matlab.lk. This is the LMS where you can register yourself, and as informed by the admin team, I saw the message and I think you also have seen the message in the chat box. As informed by the admin team, this registration will be open for 27 batch. Will be open for 2027 batch by Friday night. Means tomorrow. By tomorrow night. So leisurely, you can register yourself here, and then by Saturday, payments will be accepted. By Saturday, payments are also accepted. To register yourself, no class fee to be paid. So just to register, no need to pay the class fee. You are registering to the LMS. And class fee is accepted by Saturday, and still second class is also free session. Right? So it doesn't matter uh, when you are going to pay it, because it is actually effective the third session onwards. Right? By Saturday, payments are accepted. Now, if you are satisfied about the class and you want to make the payment, you can make the payment by Saturday. Payments are accepted. And if there's anything, you can call the hotline numbers that are mentioned in the flyer, in those messages you are seeing. Those hotline numbers you can contact for anything. If you need any clarifications regarding registration or anything like that. And about the fee, I told you the monthly fee will be 3,600. And since first 2 days of April are going to be free sessions, right? You don't need to pay the entire month fee, for month of April. You just need to pay the half month fee, that is 1,800 only, right? Because of first 2 free sessions, they are exactly free, right? Not just to attract you, they are free, right? Even if you stop the class after first 2 sessions, that doesn't matter, right? They are free sessions. But if you are registering to the class, third class onwards, you have to register yourself here to make the payments, do all these things, because after the third class onwards, you can access the online class through a limit only. And if you are coming to the physical class, you can come to Tritex Institute Dehivaram for the physical class. Okay? Physical class is here. Tritex Dehivaram. So repeating again, if you live in and around Colombo, you can come to the physical class as well. And online students will get the hard copy of the code via post once you are registered to the class. Right? And physical students will anyway get the class due at the entrance, right, at the door. Okay. So yeah, you also need to. That will be the registration. That's the registration. For registration, it doesn't matter whether you are online or physical. Registration is same. Everything goes under this. Registrations are goes under this. All registrations are under this. Doesn't matter whether you are online or physical. Same procedure. Right? In the registration, you will be asked whether you are an online student or physical student. Then select that correctly whether you are physical or online. Right? All right. So next year plan will be continuing with this. And any questions? So do you do? No, I don't. I do only physics. Like in this institute, we have chemistry classes. So if needed, you can attend the chemistry class in the institute. But myself don't conduct chemistry classes. I do only physics. Fine. Okay. So I hope it's clear. If you have any more questions, you can always contact through the hotline numbers. And I'll be giving all the updates to you through the community for first 2 weeks. Right? Until the students are registered to the class, community is something open for you all. Right? So therefore, I'll be giving more updates regarding the class in the community. So make sure yourself is in the community through that link. The link is put by me, and I think it's there, and I saw the students are joining the community meanwhile. Right? So link is there. So please join the community. And there I will share all the updates for first 2 weeks. Right? I hope all the messages are clear. And now, if you have any friends, colleagues, or someone who is interested, who is wishing to join to the class again, so you can convey the message to them. And you can convey the message, and you can ask them to come and participate next class onwards. Right? And next class will also be on the same time next coming Thursday, 11 to 2. Right? And next class I will be explaining about the structure, some things about the structure, and especially about how you should work in this A-level journey as well. It won't take much time. So during 15-20 minutes, first 15-20 minutes, I'll explain that, and then we'll be totally in the lesson. Right? That's the next day plan. All right. So, any more questions from your side before winding up? As homework, I forgot it. As homework, here in the tube, first page, under one, there are some questions as to deriving units of the physical quantities. Right? Equations are given. So try deriving these physical quantities. Right? Try deriving these physical quantities under one only. Right? Under one. There may be sometimes the known ones, sometimes unknown ones. Anyway, we will be discussing all these ones in the next class in detail. But as a homework, you can try it in the tube itself. But when we are discussing it in the note, I'll be discussing it further in detail because there are some quantities here as force as well, like derived quantity different, something different is this. So likewise, such quantities are also there. So as a homework, you can try it out. Give it a try. Anyway, you will be discussing everything in the next class. Right? So other than that, you don't have any homeworks since it is the first day. Any other questions? Any other questions? Is everything clear about what we discussed today? Length. That's about the direction and magnitude. Right? For distance, there is no direction. Right? Any curved path or anything is a distance. Displacement is from start to end, the straight line. Yes, that's straight. That's the direction. That's it. Difference is the direction. Yes, sir. Very clear. Thank you. Okay. Thank you all. So thanks for the feedback. So then pass the message, and I hope to see you all in the next class as well. Right? So we'll discuss all the things, all coming up things in the next class. And I hope this information is also clear. So be with the community, be giving you updates. I will share the updates. And if you got my flyer using that QR there also, you can up the class. As I told you, pass a message to your friends as well. If they are seeking a good class for physics, they can just join and try with them. The class is satisfied for them or not. Right? So therefore, yeah, pass that message as well. All right, then I'm going to wind up the session here. See you all in the next class, same time. Students who are living in and around Colombo, please come to, I encourage you to come to physical class here at the IDX Institute. And others, past ones, remote ones, any distant students, so who are having difficulties in coming physically, you can join the class online. Doesn't matter, that is exactly the same delivery from my side. And you will get everything that one physical student gets. So don't worry, that's exactly the same. All right then. So everything seems good. So I'm going to wind up the session here. See you all in the next class. Right? Goodbye.